I'm Vic Myers. Welcome to the Resistance. This is the Medal of Honor citation for Sergeant First Class Alwyn Crendall, Cashe. Sergeant First Class Alwyn C. Cashe distinguished himself by acts of gallantry above and beyond the call of duty while serving as platoon sergeant with Company A, 1st Battalion, 15th Infantry Regiment, 3rd Brigade, 3rd Infantry Division, in Salah ad-Din Province, Iraq, on October 17, 2005. While on a nighttime mounted patrol near an enemy-laden village, the Bradley fighting vehicle which Sergeant First Class Cashe was commanding was attacked by enemy small arms fire and an improvised explosive device, which disabled the vehicle and engulfed it in flames. After extracting himself from the vehicle, Sergeant First Class Cashe set about extracting the driver, who was trapped in the vehicle. After opening the driver's hatch, Sergeant First Class Cashe and a fellow soldier extracted the driver, who was engulfed in the flames. During the course of extinguishing the flames on the driver and extracting him from the vehicle, Sergeant First Class Cashe's fuel-soaked uniform ignited and caused severe burns to his body. Ignoring his painful wounds, Sergeant First Class Cashe then moved to the rear of the vehicle to continue in aiding his fellow soldiers who were trapped in the troop compartment. At this time, the enemy noted his movements and began to direct their fire on his position. When another element of the company engaged the enemy, Sergeant First Class Cashe seized the opportunity and moved into the open troop door and aided 4 of his soldiers in escaping the burning vehicle. Having extracted the 4 soldiers, Sergeant First Class Cashe noticed 2 other soldiers had not been accounted for, and again he entered the vehicle to retrieve them. At this time, reinforcements arrived to further suppress the enemy and establish a casualty collection point. Despite the severe 2nd and 3rd degree burns covering the majority of his body, Sergeant First Class Cashe persevered through the pain to encourage his fellow soldiers and ensure they received needed medical care. When medical evacuation helicopters began to arrive, Sergeant First Class Cashe selflessly refused evacuation until all of the other wounded soldiers were evacuated first. Sergeant First Class Cashe's extraordinary heroism and selflessness above and beyond the call of duty were keeping with the highest traditions of the military service and reflect great credit upon himself, his unit, and the United States Army. Sergeant First Class Cashe died of his wounds 3 weeks later on November 8, 2005. He's survived by his wife Tamara, daughter Lejada, and Alexis, and son Andrew, who followed in his father's footsteps by enlisting himself. Congress voted to award him the Medal of Honor on November 10, 2020. On December 16, 2021, more than 16 years after his death at age 35, Tamara accepted the Medal of Honor from President Biden. Donald Trump and Pete Hegseth are doing everything they can to remove from the military people who look like Sergeant First Class Cashe, the kind of soldier neither of them are worthy of commanding. I felt I needed to tell you about Sergeant First Class Cashe because we will soon have boots on the ground in Iran. In the coming weeks, months, maybe years, will result in more stories like this. Think about the quality of the character in those who are sending our men and women off to war and why they're doing it. Remember that our Republican Congress had the opportunity to exercise their constitutional power and stop this senseless war in Iran, and they failed. Thanks for listening.